There is no other feeling in the world like this. Hard work, pure dedication, passion, and this is what it looks like when it gets taken away from you. Rafa has given us the best car he's given to us all season.
It was amazing. The car was a beast. It was unstoppable.
Feels so good. I have no other way of describing it. He's just given us an incredible car. So coming into qualifying, we feel very, very confident. Or we did feel very confident, and Neil went ahead and record. So, I mean, that's that.
Yeah, after qualifying, we get the news that the car is disqualified, and we go into like full debrief mode, and we got to figure out what has happened and why. We don't understand why they're saying we're out of compliance. We find out that the car has overboosted. One of the sensors has shown that we're effectively producing too much boost. There's a sensor in the car from BMW, it's actually a Bosch sensor, but there's also a secondary sensor that we have to put into the car. It's a whole secondary system to what the car has. Now, when we're looking at the data ourselves and tracking what's going on, we track what's going on from the car sensors, the Bosch data. That's the stuff that we as a team have access to. We don't actually even have access to the series logger to see what their logger is seeing, to know if there's a discrepancy between the two. That's our standard operating procedure. We've done that throughout the whole season, and everything has matched up between our car's logger and the series data logger. Now, this is the first time we've seen something different in qualifying, and we now lose our qualifying times and have to start in the back. So huge blow to the gut to say that our great performance has now been taken away from us for a technical reason that was really completely out of the blue, unexpected. This is a huge issue, so it was critical that we figure out this power boost situation immediately.
Sebring, Florida, questionable place.
It was a World War II bomber base. It's runways make up the track now. It's concrete, asphalt, different levels of pavement. It's got this, it's completely flat. It's in the kind of middle of nowhere, in the middle of Florida, but it's got so much character for a flat, old racetrack.
People coming and touching the car with crystals and stuff and blessing it, and me personally, is witchcraft.
We're here with resident crystal expert, Whit from Florida. Whit, what are we going to do to fix the problem?
Speed is a manifestation of matter. The vibrational energy of that matter is what gives it its form. We've got some rare earth crystals. Traditionally, we put them on the left side of the car because the energy, just like in our body, enters through the left side and exits through the right.
Let's start with the intake, maybe?
Neil released all blockages to actually being better.
Strong.
Samantha releases all blockages to winning.
Nice.
This beautiful 38 car is now blessed.
The car's been blessed. You heard it here first. Chris Allen, signing off. With Whit.
Because if it goes shit, as it did go shit, put the curse on it. I don't know.
When what we believe to be one thing is the series is telling us it's another. We got everybody involved. We asked the BMW support tech to come over. We got all of our engineers to focus on this one problem to figure out what was going on, because this is an all hands on deck type of situation. We know we've got such a good car and it's not fast because of this one little thing. When the changes we've made to the car don't match what we're seeing on their data.
We had very, very minor wheel spin, which will create an overboost on a turbocharged car.
Coming into race one, everybody thinks we cheated now, and that's why we have the pace. But we're about to show everybody that it isn't, just setting out to prove everybody wrong. Like, we do have the pace, we are skilled drivers, and we do have a great car behind us, so we wanted to go push and win, and we almost did.
Going into race one, we're still feeling very confident about the car. We now, we make an adjustment to our boost settings to get them where we need to be. We're still a little nervous because we also don't have access to the other logger to really check. Normally we can ask the series to check for us, but this is, qualifying's done, we're now into the race, and there's no more chance to check unless it's after the race. So we're now crossing our fingers, hoping that everything looks good for race one.
We were just pushing. And we were flying. I mean, Neil and I were putting in the best stints ever. We were pushing, trying to battle and take as many cars as we could, and we ended up finishing the race P2. So
we get through tech, no problems. We're within, the boost limits where we need to be.
Couldn't ask for a better outcome. That one didn't hurt. Race 2 really hurt.
In Saturday's race, it was fine. I honestly couldn't believe it. And then they made me change the boost table again for Sunday's race, which we had BMW all in the loop with us. So we were told to just copy the other competing BMW's boost table. There's only 2 BMWs in the field, so we did, as we were told by BMW, we copied their boost table, and we ran Sunday's race thinking we were kosher. We felt like we had it in the bag, knowing that our boost tables were identical to another car passing tech. As you know, the other car passed tech after race number 2. Well, what do you do with that?
Even though we have to start race 2 from the back because we lost our qualifying times due to the technical issue, we know that we've got a car that can run to the front. And that's what happened again.
Because race 2 was domination. The car, nobody could catch it.
we proved everybody wrong, and we wanted to do it again in race 2. And it was so funny because right before the start of the race, Neil and I were like walking around, we were doing the pre-grid, and he was like, how cool would it be if we went from dead last to first overall? And that's exactly what we most did. I mean, Neil, I don't know how many cars he passed during his stint, but Mans was flying. Mans was flying, having some incredible battles. We had the fastest pit stop of the weekend in the paddock, so great job, guys. I went out in front of everybody, and I was just in the zone, focused, just executing laps, just super consistent. I think I was within like 0.3 of a second per lap. And at one point, I think I had a 22-second lead. Your girl was on it. I was on fire. Car felt like it was just hooked up. We finished first overall, and I can't even begin to describe the emotion I felt. And I mean, like, I'm even getting emotional now, like thinking about it again, like, oh, the journey we have been on and the amount of work that everybody put in this season, and to finish first overall after everybody doubting us, especially after qualifying, and to just come out on top was just, it was a moment. A moment for history, folks.
There was that inkling in the back of your ear that's like, did something go wrong? And obviously it did.
But I was leaving the track, driving back to, I think, Orlando, about to go celebrate, and I get a call from Mark. He says,
I have some bad news.
and I'm like preparing myself. I'm like, don't tell me it's the same issue. And he's like, it's the same issue from qualifying, and we are now disqualified. You did not get any points. It's a full DNF. But essentially that meant we were out of the championship fight for the season. It was a technicality that wouldn't have changed the performance at all. We know that from the data.
We can monitor our boost in real time. So we knew that what our car was doing during the race on the telemetry, we were within the limit. We check our Bosch data as soon as the race is over. Everything looks good. We're feeling confident. So we are in complete disbelief that the car is showing to be outside of their technical regulations. Again, for a second time in the weekend, it's an absolute, it's like a horror movie. I mean, we can't believe that it's happening to us again.
This bullshit.
They have found, one setting to be outside of what they expect it to be based on their information, their logger that they go off of, which is, again, different than ours. And the only thing to do is to say that the car is non-compliant, and a non-compliant car means you finish the back of the pack. So that's what the official results did. And the whole wave of getting it posted online again, ST Racing gets their win taken away, technical infraction number 2 for the weekend. Incredibly difficult to swallow and embarrassing because we feel like we can't defend ourselves, and we don't want to come out and just start screaming back into the void.
We thought we had it all figured out. Everything was fine. This is from BMW. This is from track support. Even the guys from BMW were they had no words that we were still illegal. They had no words of what to. We fought it any way we could. We sent an appeal. We took it all the way up to the board of SRO, and their reply back was, you know, black and white writing. We go off the Emotag law logger, not anything else, which is a little bit of bullshit. Just because the car is not built with an Emotag logger, that's a secondary logger. So for me, the accuracy is the car's actual boost logger, which is a Bosch logger, and they don't go by that. So we're at the mercy of the series. This is the decision they made, so we have to stand by it.
How do you explain yourself when there's so much nuance involved? So what we did was we buckled down and we said, we're appealing this. We have the data that shows our car is compliant. We had talked to another team in Europe. There's a McLaren team who went through the same exact thing that we went through. They had their wind taken away. The sensors were the exact same sensors. It was the same discrepancy between the car sensors and the series mandated sensors. This is almost to a T what we dealt with. Here's what we found. Here's what we were able to show and prove in court. Ultimately, unfortunately, the appeal was denied because in the rule book, it says the only data that the appeals committee can look at is the official data. And the official data is the one that was wrong.
Well, we're down here at the podium, and as you can see by where I am, we are not on it. We thought for a sec maybe there was a chance, and now we're just standing here like a bunch of losers. So, sorry. And then depression set in for the long, long walk back to the trailer, trophyless. Maybe I'll drown my sorrow in some Wendy's. You don't have to be a winner to buy a Frosty. You want to film Mark and I arguing about damage? Didn't do that. Didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Dick.
Don't know anything about that.
You did it.
Well, it's Rob.
No, you did.
Rob's gone, right? Rob's gone. That was there. You saw it.
No, it wasn't.
The appeals board made a recommendation. They made two recommendations to SRO. One was to catalog all communications between team, SRO, and manufacturer just to make sure that they had everybody on the same page. But number two was the main one. They recommended to SRO that there be a secondary form of verification for the official sensors in case the official sensors are shown to be defective. They are potentially defective, and they're also affected by heat. When the car gets really hot, when the ambient temperature is really hot, this is something that can happen to them if the sensor is old, if it hasn't been calibrated correctly or hasn't been calibrated in a long time. Heat can cause a bit of a deflection in the reading. And if anybody remembers Sebring, it was the hottest race of the year. So, you know, unfortunately, we had to take that one on the chin and accept that the result got taken away from us. In the end, the boost discrepancy between our data, which showed we were compliant, and the non-compliant data was about 15 millibar.
At the end of the day, we can be really proud of what we achieved. We know in our hearts what we had put together and the performance that we had in the car. Like Rafa set up, again, an incredible car. Neil and I drove our hearts out, and nobody can take that away from us. I'm proud of you guys.